There's been there's a viral video of teachers scrabbling around to pick up as much cash as they can. It comes from South Dakota, and it seems to me to be utterly humiliating. I've just gone back to doing some teaching, and I think, would I do that? No, but where does this come from? This is all part of the wider history of reality TV. You can go back, I think, to shows in Japan. You can go back in this country to It's a Knockout, even It's a Royal Knockout. It's a Royal Knockout was so misjudged because how can you humiliate the royal family and then expect to respect them? It doesn't work. In the same way, how can you humiliate teachers, even if their intention is to get cash for their school, and then expect the children to respect them? It doesn't work. And humiliation is part of the reality TV mindset. It doesn't need to be. When I was invited to take part in the circle, I was told this was like a science experiment, and it was about the influence of social media, and I thought that was a positive thing. But by the third series of the circle, it had transformed into a version of It's a Knockout. It had transformed into all-out humiliation. And it's not something I want to be associated with. The circle, indeed, for that last season, it ran a trailer where Emma Willis came out with the thing, what would you lose to win? Well, you know, the winning the prize, this competition element, which is often in reality TV, is what Alfred Hitchcock would have called a McGuffin. The McGuffin is the thing that drives the characters to complete the plot. You'll find a McGuffin in most of the Hitchcock films. What are the characters looking for? We're not interested in it. And reality TV producers seem to think that the performers are going to be motivated by the idea of a prize, a bigger prize, a bigger prize. You think of the American series Survivor. It's demeaning. Actually, what we want on reality TV, what reality TV is sort of set up for, is to look at ourselves. And if you allow the cameras time, we're all very interesting. And we all tell stories. And a good producer, a good editor, will find the narrative in our story in such a way that it can be presented on television and be interesting to everyone. We don't actually need the McGuffin. We don't actually need to humiliate ourselves to make good TV. What we actually need is to be supported. And one of the reasons the McGuffin, one of the reasons the prize, one of the reasons I think all reality TV is actually scripted before you even see it, though the performers don't know, is because it makes it easier for production. It's very hard to comb through the footage and construct a really good narrative, but people have done it. You can go back to The Family in the early days of reality TV. That is literally what was happening. You can go back, in fact, to The Royal Family, that very early reality TV show based around the Royal Family, where you have a fly-on-the-wall documentary of the Royal Family at work. These are what I think reality TV should be. And it requires a lot of work by production. As it is, modern reality TV requires a lot of work by people who are paid only for that particular show, and they're not paid much. They are called runners, and they are breaking their backsides to keep the show on the road. And they're running around the place, meeting people's needs, so that the planned events, the planned script, will turn out as envisaged by production. I think in The Circle, I'm rather proud in The Circle. I think that I managed to change the script. I think I was more in control of the narrative than I expected to be. I think also I share that with Woody, and possibly with Ella. But I think we lasted much longer than was originally anticipated. I have my own scenario of what I think my series of the Circle should have looked like, and it certainly doesn't finish with me in the final. I think it finishes with Woody in the final, but only by playing a part like Joyce, and that's fine. That is fine, but it's not reality. Should Woody be in the final? Absolutely, he should. He was the best thing in it. And I certainly was rooting for him all the way. And I had no idea who he was. But one of the things about television is you don't want people to be talking all the time. You want a little silence, you want a little tranquility. And Woody and Ella and Sai in my series, and Vithan and Natalia in the next series, these people did it, and they had that ability in spades. But it's not what producers in reality TV tend to want to deal with. They tend to want to deal with garrulity, and they have devices for encouraging garrulity, talkativeness. So we will eventually say something foolish, and they're poised and waiting for that moment. So I find this viral video about teachers grabbing for money really disappointing, and that was a video which woke me up on Sunday morning, and I wanted to share with you my thoughts on that. So you can find it. It's a video about teachers from South Dakota grabbing cash.